It's the, oh dear, let's move that down a bit. It is the Easter bank holiday. Today is the 19th of April. If you're anything like me, bank holidays don't really mean anything. I'm self-employed, so work just trickles along on a day-to-day basis. I don't really have much in the way of time off. There's always something going on, and I prefer to work at a continuous low level rather than work myself stupid for 5 days a week and then take a weekend off. It just works better for me. It's less stressful and I prefer it. And I've been keeping an eye on the weather, and it looks like I'm going to get my car camping trip, which will start on Wednesday. I've decided to do things differently this time. So normally I would go in the morning. I'd do stuff during the day at the place I was going to. I would camp up for the night, and then the next day I would do something in the morning and then drive home about lunchtime, something like that. I'm going to do it differently this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave after my Wednesday clean. So I've got a clean to do on Tuesday, I've got a clean to do Tuesday evening, then I've got my Wednesday clean, and then I am going to come back, pack all the things into the car, which I will have pre-packed over the 2 days before that, because I'm going to be really organised, and then go. And I've worked it out that I will arrive, I'm going to go straight to the overnight camping spots, or where I'm going to park up, for about 8 o'clock when it's starting to get dark. And I think my drive is about 2.5 hours, so I've got plenty of time. And I've found somewhere to park which, provided nothing has changed, is going to be ideal. It's an actual designated parking area for overnight parking. Now, I'm going up to Scotland. Scotland's rules are different. They're not as hostile to people who are car camping and have camper vans. And if I can be somewhere that's like an actual designated, you're allowed to park here, it feels less like a stealth camp where I'm worried I'm going to get the knock or something like that. So that takes the edge off being worried about it, which hopefully means I'm going to sleep better. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive up there, park up for the overnight. That then gives me all of the next day, which will be Thursday, to do the stuff I want to do at leisure. And then I'm going to come back to the same parking space on the Thursday evening, and then on the Friday morning there's a place I want to revisit, which is great for walking and bird watching and stuff, and I'm going to do that and have breakfast and whatever, and then from there I will drive back home. So that's going to be 2 nights of sleeping in my car. So we'll see how we get on. I have a slightly different setup for my blackout, blacking out the windows this time, which should be better. I have more in terms of my how I'm going to pack out the seat to make it a comfortable ride. And I've been putting together a list of food things. I don't have much in the way of food to take, and what I tend to do, because I'm not taking a stove or anything like that, I just basically picnic for 2 days, which is no big deal. It's fine. So I'm going to make some bread, because bread's a good staple that doesn't need to be chilled or refrigerated or anything like that. So I'm going to take 2 flasks of hot water, because of that I have a little plug-in car kettle, but it takes ages to heat up. So if I have the water ready warm, then it doesn't take as long to heat up. So I'm going to take the 2 flasks, 2 2-litre bottles of water, so I've got plenty of water to drink. I'm going to need to eat, I'm not going to have time for dinner before I go on the Wednesday. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pre-cook up a pizza and chop it up into pieces, and then I can eat as I drive, so to speak, because if I'm leaving here at about 4:30, and getting there at 8, I don't want to be eating at 8 o'clock when I'm trying to build my car for the night, so to speak. So what I'll do, I'll do that. I'm going to chop up half of it as eating on the way out, you know, hand food for driving, and then the rest of it I can have the next day. I have a quiche in the freezer, which I'm going to take out the day that I go and put that into the cool box. I have 3 gel ice packs which I've put in the freezer to freeze up to put into my cool box, and I'm taking 2 frozen 1 pint bottles of water, because that'll help to keep that, because it'll stay chilled for quite a while, but it won't, you know, those bottles will unfreeze over a 24-hour period. So I'm taking that. I've got take some cereals, stuff like that, tea, milk, maybe some coffee. I've got some those pre-made coffee things. They're not amazing, but for a car camping trip they're fine. I'm going to take a load of bananas. I've got a meat pie in the freezer, or a couple of those I might take. Picnic food again. But that bar of chocolate that I got as a freebie from Morrison's the other day, I'm going to take that. I'm going to decant some peanut butter into a small jar and take that to have with my bread. And I'm also going to go and do my yellow sticker shop tomorrow morning, which is Sunday, and then I'm also going to go and do one on Tuesday evening when I go out and do that clean, and see what other things I can pick up that will be good food. As well as that though, when I'm out on the first day, I'm parking up somewhere where there's a Morrison's very close, so if I need to buy anything else, then I probably will go and buy some more fruit or some actual edible vegetables that I can have, because it's a very brown picnic, you know. It's pies, it's bread, it's quiche, it's not very healthy, and it would be nice to get some greenery in there. But of course I'm not cooking, so I can't like cook up vegetables and stuff. So that's my plan, and I'm just putting together a list of all the things I want to take. I'm really excited about this. I thought I had been to Scotland last year, and my sense of time has just gone out the window in recent years. I think it's another menopause thing. So I was sure that I went up to Scotland last year, but it wasn't. It was 2023, because I looked back over the old footage of my previous trip and I was thinking, I can't find it. Have I lost it all? And I was looking in the wrong year. So last year I went to Keswick and I went to Morecambe and Heysham. So that makes sense. So this is going to be my Scotland trip. And if this works out, then I'll start doing 2-night trips and doing it this way around next time. I'm hoping it works, because it's good to get as much time as you can at the place you're going to. And if you're driving out there in the morning and it takes you like 3 hours to get there, and then you're trying to fit in all the things you want to do, it's knackering and it's too much pressure. So if I go up the night before and then in the morning I'm already in the place, I've just saved myself so much time and effort, and that gives me more energy to enjoy the place when I'm up there. I have a few things scheduled. I'm going to visit a town, I'm going to visit a nature reserve, and then the next day I'm going to do that revisit, which is a coastal area, and I'm going to go back to that, because I really liked that last time and I wanted to do some more of that. So I have lots to do. It looks like I have lots to do, but you'd be surprised how fast that goes and how much spare time you end up with. So I might even go and see a castle if the weather holds. The weather's looking really good actually. I had a look this morning and it looks like the temperatures are up a bit and it's going to be cloudy and sunny, so it looks ideal. I will pack accordingly, of course, and so that's really what I'm prepping over the next few days, and I'm really excited about it. For recording, I'm only going to put a bit of it on this channel, because I have my new Walk With Me channel, which is for hiking, and what I'm going to do the full length trip and put it over there, so you can go over there and watch it, and I'll make sure that you know where the links are so you can see the whole thing. And I mean, it'll be edited, but it'll be much longer. Normally though, these videos end up taking up 2 or 3 videos because there's so much to do. So I'll be putting it over there. I'll put some highlights in here, And then if that whets your appetite, you can go over and look at the whole thing if you want to see it. So yes, first car camping trip of the year is coming up. I'm going to do another one before the kids break up for the summer, and of course I'm also going to be down at my parents' end of July, early August-ish, because I'm house sitting for them while they go on holiday. So that will be, I think my next one will be at some point either in late June or early July. I'm not too sure yet. Again, depends on the weather. And I've got that one all pre-planned, and that's a proper genealogy trip, so I'm looking forward to that. But I'm really excited that I'm going to get my little trip. I'm really excited about it. So lots of planning to do, and it's fun to have things to look forward to, so I really enjoy that. And it's kind of low level planning. It's not like I'm planning a 2-week holiday. It's like 2 nights in my car, but I'm really looking forward to it. So that gives me stuff to do and get organised. I'm going to make bread on the Monday so that it's not sitting around for too long. I'm not going to do a huge amount because I'll just eat the whole lot otherwise, but it'll be enough to just take the edge off being hungry. Although it's weird because when I'm away and I've only got so much food in my cool box, I kind of switch off to eating because I'm out doing stuff and my whole routine changes. Because I'm at home the time and I work from home and the kitchen's next door, it's so easy to go and snack and graze, and that's the problem. So when I'm away, my whole routine changes and my brain kind of switches gear into other things, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, being organised. It's Sunday. Gorgeous day, clear blue sky, lovely sun, quite chilly though. And I went over to Morrison's this morning, as usual, to do a Sunday morning haul, and they're shut. Which is really weird, really, because it's the Easter bank holiday. So we've had Good Friday and we've got Easter Monday, and they're open on both those days. So I missed a trick there. I should have gone in there last night, because they would have had loads of discounts on to clear the shelves because they're shut on Sunday. Never mind. I wonder if I go in there first thing tomorrow morning, there will be deals. Anyway, I don't know. Confused. I also had a vintage parcel to send, so as I was out and about, I've made the most of it. Got some steps in. How many steps did I do today? I've done just short of 3,000 steps doing that, so shouldn't really complain. And it's now just before 10 o'clock. I'm just so confused. Don't know what's the matter with me. I'm all over the place. Look what I got for Easter. Got a lint bunny. He's the white lint bunny. This was given to me by my parents when I was down, so it's been in my cupboard ever since I got home, and I haven't broken into it. Look at it. It's just so cute. It's a shame to eat them, doesn't it? Anyway. So, there goes his little bell. I'm going to eat his ears. I'm no good at rationing treats like this. This is going to be gone in no time. Ready? Bloomin' heck. Is he solid? It tastes good. He is hollow. His ears are solid. I was going to do a nice little seamless chomp of the ears, and this has turned into an absolute carnage. I can just see a hole, so the top of the ears are solid. That's why I'm struggling. There we go, look. That's where the hole starts. It tastes so good. I'm going to do my best to ration this though. I'm not sure I'm going to do a very good job. It's Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, Easter Monday. My Bank Holiday weekend has pretty much been a complete washout. I've been really tired. I've had a headache for most of it, so I haven't got much done. But this morning I've woken up absolutely fine, shaken off all the symptoms, feeling relatively normal, and so I want to get on with stuff that I was going to do yesterday. Really, I am prepping for my car camping trip, and so I'm going to prep some of what I'm going to take. I've taken out my big cool box, which I always take, and that will have freezer packs in it to help keep things chilled enough for the duration of 2 days. It won't even be 2 days. And I'm going to put together some foods. So I don't drink coffee anymore, but I was gifted a couple of years ago, or last year, some of these all-in-ones. So I'm going to take a couple of those just in case I may not use them. So there's that. I'm going to get out a little box to put those in. Little Tupperware box. We're going to put in those. I'm going to get some tea bags. Just going to get some regular tea bags. I tend not to drink a lot of tea when I'm on these trips. It's a faff trying to get the hot water sorted. So I'm going to take 6 tea bags. Throw in a teaspoon. And I'm then going to take my thermos cup for that. Now I need to pack my little kettle. My little car kettle looks like this, so I'm going to put that aside. I'm just making a pile of things where I've made a list. I've already packed up most of the bedding except for the duvet, which I'm going to wrap up on the morning before I go. So I'm going to make a little pile of things. I also take plenty of water, so I've got some 2 litre lemonade bottles. I'm taking 2 of these, so that'll give me 4 litres of water. That's just standard cold water out the tap. Where are all my lemonade bottle lids? There's one, I need 2. That's no good. Found the second lid. Right, so those will be filled with water. What else? I'm going to take some peanut butter because I'm going to make some bread, but I don't want to take that massive great pot that I have. So I'm going to fill a little jar with enough for 2 days. Milk will be frozen and will go straight in to the thingy. quiche in the freezer, meat pie in the freezer, chocolate. Now, I haven't opened the chocolate bar. I'm so behaved. So we're going to take that as a little treat. That can go in there. I'm going to take my little LED lamp, which I've shown you before. And for the moment, that's it. I'm going to go to Morrison's this evening and Tuesday evening, and then I've got to go to Sainsbury's on Wednesday morning anyway, so I'm going to look and see if there's any suitable snacks. I want to buy one of those ready chopped salad bowls. I never buy ready-made salad, but the thought of just eating carbs for 2 days when I'm away is just not fun. So I'm going to buy one of those big salad bowls and munch on that on the Thursday. So that's that. Then I need to pack bathroom type stuff. That's pretty much it. It's not a very complicated setup. I don't have huge amounts of spare room in my car. It's only a small car. It's a 3-door hatchback. And I tend to find if I take too much stuff, I just don't end up using it. So I've really whittled down how much I take in terms of clothing, because you're just roughing it for 2 days. Nobody cares. You know, you can live in the same clothes for 2 days. I just take lots of spare socks and a few pairs of shoes in case I get really wet. And layers. Layers are important. And that's about it, really. So I'm going to keep an eye on this weather, because if it really turns and really looks awful, I'm not going to be going, which is a real pain. It looked like it was going to be wet and I wasn't going to go, and then it looked like it was going to be really great, and now suddenly it's looking like it might not be so good again. So we'll have to see. As long as it doesn't rain, I don't care what else it does really, as long as it doesn't rain. Right, so bread making. I've had a quick look at my calendar, and I have 2 other slots of 3 days that I can do before the first couple of days of May, if the weather changes. So I'm going to stay quite flexible on this. So I've got effectively 3 chances to go and do this trip to Dumfries before the middle of the first week of May, so that's fine. The only risk is if I'm making food, is it going to last? So in terms of like going and buying the bowl of salad, I'll have to decide that on the day. That's fine. I'll know by obviously Wednesday whether or not I'm going. I'm still going to go ahead and make the bread, because hopefully I'll have enough room to keep it in the freezer. I'm not going to make like a big loaf. I'm going to do a half size of what I normally do, and I'm going to roll it into small rolls. So hopefully I can like stick some of it in the freezer if I need to. But this bread tends to keep quite well, so I'm going to get on with that. I'm also going to make a cake today. I have eaten the last of my dessert based foods, so I have nothing in at the moment. I am going to go over to Morrison's this evening and see if I can get any discounts, but that will be after dinner, because it will be like 6 o'clock. So I've got things that I need to use up in the cupboard anyway, so I'm going to make a cake. I might actually make a banana cake, because I have bananas to use up. That might be fun. So yeah, I'm going to get on with those 2, and big baking session. So I've got my laptop on, that will be on in the background to entertain me whilst I make, so you can watch me making stuff even though you won't be able to hear me. I'll do a little fast forward and a little compilation of the baking that I'm doing today, and that's the lot. Bank holiday Monday evening, I went over to Morrison's. They said they were opening for holiday hours, but their holiday hours are longer than their Sunday hours. Anyway, they shut at 8 tonight, so I went at 6, thought, you never know. Wasn't very good. They clearly had no deliveries over the weekend because half the shelves were completely empty. It was really quiet in there. It was a really weird atmosphere. It was really quiet. There was hardly anybody in there. And there were several couples walking around having arguments as they went, so they clearly didn't want to be there. I didn't manage to get any vegetables at all. I did get one thing that I'll be able to take on my car camping trip if I go car camping. Not looking as good at the moment. What did I spend today? I spent £7.74. And I'm not sure whether one of the things I bought I should have bought. Anyway, we'll have a look. So, cheese. We have some Tickler cheddar. This was £2.09 down to 53p. It's quite a small piece, but some lovely Somerset brie. This was £2.41 down to 61p. They have pate. Don't often get pate. I love pate. I bought 2 of these because there was a bunch of them. These were £2.50 each down to 63p. These are Brussels with caramelised shallots. And if I do go car camping, one of those with my bread would be rather nice. And one other thing I bought, expensive, but nowhere near as expensive as it was. You look at the price and you think, wow, that was a really expensive thing. And then the discount looks massive, but the discounted price, you sometimes think, do I need that? Anyway, I bought one of these. There are about 4 of these big chunks of turkey. So this was originally £21.34 and I paid £5.34 for that. It doesn't seem like a lot of meat for £5.34, not for what I'm used to buying. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide this up into meal-sized amounts and freeze it, and then hopefully we'll end up with a whole bunch of meals and it'll feel like it's been worth it. I don't put a lot of meat in meals when I make them. Like if I've got, say, some sausages in the freezer, one sausage will do a lunch stir fry, something like that. So this should last quite a while, but until I chop it up, I won't know whether I've made a good saving there. So yeah, £7.74 for that lot, and I'll do the usual. I'll put the full price and the savings price there. That's probably going to look like a massive difference on that one because of that expensive chunk of meat. And that was it for Monday. I got locked out, so I came back from the shops, and my door lock, I've got a 5-lever door thing, whatever they call it. And it's always been a bit temperamental. I've had to have locksmiths out before. There's a little cover inside the lock, which I don't know if it just goes around or it drops down. And sometimes it drops down after I've taken the key out. And then I can't get the key in because all you've got is a little hole at the top with no drop down. And I couldn't get in. Luckily, one of my neighbours was in and lent me a handful of different types of screwdrivers. And eventually it was a flathead screwdriver, which twisted it just enough so I could get the key in and spin it round. Normally I'm really careful to check when I go out before I lock the door that little metal piece hasn't dropped down, but I wasn't paying any attention today. And I knew it wasn't properly set, and yet I still went out. Served me right, won't be doing that again in a hurry. Anyway. Oh, I was locked out in the rain. So annoying. I didn't panic, it was really weird. I was like, right, how can I resolve this? Because it's happened so many times where I've had to put, usually I've got a pair of scissors by the door that I use for trimming plants out the front, and often I will use that. That's really good for just spinning that little lock thing around. Anyway, look at the state of me, I got caught in the rain on the way back. That's the lot. Sunday's over, everything's back to normal tomorrow. It's been really quiet here the last couple of days because it's been the bank holiday. And today it's just rained all day, so no one's really been out, so it's been so quiet. It's been lovely. Neighbours downstairs have been at work all day, so no doors banging all day. Still not resolved that. Anyway, so back to normal tomorrow. Right, I have just finished my Tuesday clean, which was kind of good and kind of bad. So I didn't have to do one floor of the building because that section of the family is home and unwell, so they didn't want to be disturbed, which is fine. So I didn't have to do quite the 3 hours. It's not my fault. But the mother was home and she followed me around, checking everything I did and pointing out all the bits I'd missed. I don't know, sometimes part of me thinks, look, you're paying minimum wage. You know, I don't know what you want for minimum wage. Anyway, so that was fun. Anyway, I got out slightly early. What am I talking about? I've been to Sainsbury's. Decided to do Sainsbury's today rather than tomorrow. I have committed to my car camping trip, leaving tomorrow afternoon. So I went in and got some. I wanted to get the salad for Thursday, which will keep fine for 48 hours, not even that. So I bought a few bits and came out. I didn't have to pay for anything because it came to exactly £10. So the chap that I do the cleaning for on Wednesdays asked me if I could get him some disinfectant blocks that you put in the toilet system. That's come to £3. So he'll pay me back in cash for that. So that's £3 of Nectar points I'm going to get back in my pocket. I also bought some paracetamol. They were 37p. I've decided to buy some vitamin B12. I've heard that B12 is also really good for energy levels, particularly when you're in menopause. So I'm going to give it a go. They were £2.80. So we'll see how we get on with that. We'll give it a trial. I've started taking my vitamin D tablets again. I'd stopped it because they say that in April you can stop because the daylight levels are enough. But they also said that when you're in menopause, particularly if you're suffering with bad energy levels, you should just keep taking them. So I've started taking them again, so we'll see if that makes any difference. So I bought the salad bowl. I bought a mixed salad bowl. Looks quite nice. The only healthy thing I'm going to be taking on this trip. That cost me £1.75. I bought, what else did I buy? I bought, I needed to then make it up to the £10. So I bought a bag of carrots, which came to 53p. I bought some greens, which came to 80p, and celery, which came to 75p. Now, that is all great stuff for regular meals. I'm going to eat that anyway, so no problem there. So that's all good. And because I'm only going away for 2 nights, it'll keep in the fridge, no problem. So that's that solved. So £10, didn't pay anything. On the way back tomorrow from tomorrow's clean, I'm going to get petrol so that I'm fully tanked up, and then I shouldn't have to get any more petrol for the whole of the trip, because I've looked at the mileage and the mileage should come in less than I use for a tank, so that should be good. So we're doing this trip. We are committed to it. So this is my packing for my car camping trip. This looks like a lot for 2 nights, doesn't it? The all the blue bits, those IKEA bags, are all the bedding. So one of them is a king-size duvet, and all the others are the blankets and things which I need to pack out my passenger seat that I can lie out on. Down here, this green bag with the melons on it, which is there, that has towels, walking gear, other bits and pieces in it. I've got my backpack for walking around. There's my cool box, which will have all my food stuff in it that needs to be kept chilled. There's my wash bag. That is literally all the wash stuff. And this one here contains this. They're empty at the moment, but they will be full by the time I leave. I've got my flasks in there, and water bottles, a spare pair of shoes, and my kettle is in there. So that's the lot, really. It's Wednesday morning, and I'm getting ready to go to my Wednesday clean. And I'm being really organised so that when I come back, I've got about 2 or 3 hours when I get back from that to get myself fully organised, make sure that home is sorted and ready for me to go, and then I can pack the car. I've got to pump up my tyres, or just check the tyre pressures, and then I'm ready to go. I need to take food and ice packs and things out of the freezer. I need to cook the pizza that I've taken out of the oven. I'm going to eat some of that when I get back, and then I'm going to chop the rest of it up into bite-sized pieces so that I can eat as I drive, because if I'm leaving here, I don't know, 5 o'clock, that's dinner time for me. Yeah, I just need to get dressed, get myself organised for work day. So I'm going to get today out the way with, in terms of being out, and then I can get back and get myself organised, and then we can hit the road. Exciting! So this is it. I'm on my way. My first car camping trip of 2025. Weather's looking really good. I found a nice sandwich of good weather. So it's raining up there now, and it's going to rain all night, but tomorrow it's going to be fantastic, and then on Friday it's going to be cloudy, but it's not going to be raining, and that is the thing that I was worried about. So I'm packed. My 3 huge IKEA bags are in the back. That is all of my bedding, basically. In the boot I have my towels and my walking gear and my spare socks and all that stuff. I've got my cool box in the front here. It's full and ready to go. We have some food. I lobbed in whatever I thought would last. Tea. I've got my little kettle, and everything is organised. Filled up with petrol. I have snacks for eating on the way. I had something when I got back from my clean. I got home just before 3:30, and I have that for the drive, because the time I get there at 7:30, I'm not going to want to eat. It's too late for me to eat, but that will keep me going, so that's really good. What else? Man, I think that's it. I'm ready to go. So I am doing things slightly differently. I've decided to try and do a 2-day car camping trip. So it's now 4:30, so I should be there about 7:30, 3 hours ish, and I'm going to set up for the night, hopefully get a reasonable night's sleep. I'm going to a proper campsite, so I shouldn't be as worried about getting a knock or anything. And then the idea is that I wake up bright and early and ready to go. We're going to go and do things for the day, because we'll be up nice and early, so I don't lose those extra 3 hours driving up to start with and then be tired having to do all those things. I get the full day to relax and just enjoy the whole area, do what I want to do, and then coming back to the same site for the night and sleep over again, because I've already been there one night. Hopefully second night will be a bit more familiar and I'll be okay. And then in the morning, there's one place I want to revisit from my first trip to Scotland in 2020, or my second trip, should I say, my last trip in 2023. Somewhere I want to go where there's a nice, it's right on the Solway Firth, so I want to go there and I can do breakfast there and walk about, and then I'm going to come home. So that is me set and ready to go. Let's see how we get on with this change of routine. Won't know till we give it a go. I've got everything planned. I've got a good set of pins on my Google Maps to get me there, and I think we're ready to go. I don't think there's anything I've missed. I checked my notepad. I made lists and lists and lists of things. Tick toff, tick toff, tick toff, tick toff. Yes, 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 yes. No. Yes, right. I've got everything that I put on my list. Anything that is forgotten now remains forgotten. So, enjoy the ride, and I'll see you at the other end. the bed's made. You've ever seen those documentaries about the chimpanzees? About how at night they go and make their nests in the trees and they flatten all the leaves down and they do it individually every night. I feel like that. I've had to make my bed from scratch. I've got all the blankets. So I've got the 2 old pillows from my bed, which are preventing me from skewering myself on the levers at the side. And I've got the 2 candlewick bedspreads, 2 big cushions, those 2 fleecy blankets that I rescued from the rubbish last month, which are perfect. And then I've got one of my duvets. I've got a king-sized duvet. It's my thinner one, but I've doubled it over and I'm going to get inside it like a big sausage roll. And this is pretty much how I did it when I was at Morecambe and Heysham last September, and it was so warm. I'm hoping it works. I've reset up my windows so you can see, like, that one's blacked out. What I've done, I've chopped up some remains of black curtains that I used when I first did this, and I wasn't very good at knowing what I was doing, and I've basically lodged them into the windows and wound the windows up to keep it in place. So, and I've put my rear blackouts in. One of them won't stay in. I've left them in the car and they've kind of warped over the months, and one won't fit in. I always keep like some magnets, strong magnets, because bits of the car are magnetic, and also a load of bulldog clips. And I've put a load of bulldog clips around the bottom edge, flipped over the levers, and I'm hoping they're going to hold it in. This place is pretty amazing, actually. So all the cars have gone, and it's just the camper van. There's about 6 of us here. And all you can hear is birds now, and I can see them down on the water's edge. Let me see if I can show you what it now looks like. My window screen is filthy, and I apologise for that. So this is what I can now see. This is my view. So I hope I have a good night. This is what I will see in the morning, hopefully, because it's going to be a gorgeous day tomorrow. One of the problems of recording in your car. Good morning. I've already got my window blinds down because one of the problems of sleeping in your car is you have to get things reasonably organised before you can do anything. So I had to pack away the bed and get the window things down, which worked really well, actually. The street lights came on at 9 o'clock and they were fine. So, first order of the day, I am hoping that my milk has thawed. See, it's slightly thawed out now. Now I can have a cup of tea. What else? I brought these for breakfast. These I've had one of these before. They were given away for free on one of the cashback apps. They're okay. Let's get some warmth in here. They're not amazing, but you just add hot water, so I'm going to have one of these as a breakfast. Let's give this porridge a go. I mean, if this was breakfast every morning, I would be sad. But in the absence of anything else, and it being warm, we'll do this one. So, it's now 8:30, and I'm going to drive about 10 minutes, I think it is, up the road to Dumfries, and we're going to hang out in Dumfries for a bit. So let's get going. in the big free car park in Dumfries. This is a big car park with a lot of parking spaces, and it's free, and you can park here all day until I don't know when. You just can't park here overnight. No overnight campers. So I am first going to go to Morrison's, which is just, I think, there, just the other side there. I'm going to go and use facilities there because I need to go again already, because I drank that massive great cup of tea this morning, and I'm probably going to buy myself a croissant, and then I'm just literally going to wander around town. I've picked up some tourist things to look at on the map. There's a very old bridge, there's a monument to some Titanic people who didn't survive, and a few other things, but I'm really just going to have a wander, because a town's a town. There's nothing that's really spectacular here in terms of, it's a working town. It's got the same shops as everywhere else. It's got the same things, the same problems, the same positives. So I'm just literally going to just have a wander around. I've got lots and lots of time, and I'm just gonna enjoy myself. So show you around town. To put the muffler on, so I hope you can hear me okay. I'm just walking through Dock Park, which runs along the edge of the River Neath, which you've already seen, and I'm just walking along here because I'm heading towards the Titanic Memorial, and this is a really nice park with this gorgeous chestnut tree. And it's peaceful here. Dumfries is a very pretty town. It's got lots of lovely old buildings, very historic. recognises its history, which is nice. Lots of stuff about Robert Burns and things like that. And it has its usual shops, you know, the stuff you'd expect. But also lots of like local produce and stuff like that. So let's head towards this memorial, and then I'm going to walk back across the other side. There's one more building I want to pick up before I head back into town. Right, that's Dumfries done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to a nature reserve, which is back out of town, back in the direction I came from. And we're going to have some lunch. The weather's going to improve this afternoon. And we're going to have a look at the ruins of a castle. And go to the nature reserve, take the binoculars, see what we shall see. We shall don our hiking boots, and that's where we shall spend the rest of the day. So let's get going. I hope this records. I've lost 3 bits of footage on this camera. It's a bit temperamental. Most of the time it's fine, and every so often it'll go through a phase where it'll just start losing files, which is really irritating. So let's get going and see you at the other end. The state of me. It's the end of Thursday. I'm really tired. I've done about 10 miles of walking today, and it's been so warm. I'm recording this on my proper phone because my camera, which is my old phone, has decided that today is the perfect day to start playing up. And I think I've lost all the footage from my walk at the nature reserve. Hasn't done that in ages, and now today it decides that is the day when it's going to do it. So you might just have to take my word for it that it was a beautiful place, and lots of lovely birds and greenery, beautiful forest. There were some signs up which I'd also taken pictures and film of, and now that's all gone as well. So it's now 7 o'clock. I came back here to Glen Capel, which is where I've been overnighting, at about 3:30, 4 o'clock, about 3:30, and then I walked up the river. So I'm facing the same direction that I was yesterday. I'm a bit further down towards the river though this time, and I decided to walk all the way down that shoreline. I say all the way down. It was only about half an hour each way because I was so early. So I did that, then I came back and I had some food, and oh girl, I haven't had a nap, but I've just kind of chilled, and I am so tired. The problem is when you get overtired is you can't sleep, and I really hope I do get slightly better sleep than last night. I am going to start making my bed. I've finished eating for the night, so I can not worry about all of that. I'm going to sort my bed out and then chill out for the rest of the evening. And hopefully I will get sleep. My legs really hurt. I might have to get out and walk around for a bit. Everything hurts. I've overdone it today. Anyway, so I'm going to get on and do bedding. It's morning. It's 7 a.m. I had a pretty good night last night, actually. Didn't do bad. They said it was going to be cloudy this morning, overcast, but the sun is out and looks like it's going to be another gorgeous day. So I've just plugged in my kettle, so I'm just making a cup of tea. I'm going to do my second morning porridge, which looks like this. It's doable. And I've de-damped the windscreens. I'm going to get my head together, and I'm going to pack away all my bedding so that it's all back in the IKEA bags, get tidied up, get a bit more organised, and then I'm going to go off to my one stop of today before I head home, which I did speak about yesterday, but as I said, my phone seems to have wiped a load of footage, and I tried to record something on it this morning and it froze, so I think we may be coming to the end, which means I'm not too sure how I'm going to manage this phone, because not really because of space, because I've got 2 hard drives, but because of battery life. I might need to buy a cheap second-hand mobile phone just to use as a camera, like another Galaxy. Anyway, oh dear, such is life. Right, I'm going to get organised, get my brain together, because I'm not really with it yet, and we'll see how we get on. See you in a bit. I'm here. I'm at my walking point. It's quite windy here, so I've got the muffler on the end of my phone. And I'll show you a bit of it when I'm further down, because there's a nice walking path down here. So I'll spin you round and you can see what I'm doing. So in front of you there is the Solway Firth, and if you took a boat or you walked or whatever and you carried on following the water to the right, you would end up at Glencapel, where I was overnight. And the reason I'm here, I came here almost exactly 2 years ago. It's a research trip for my family history. So just up to the right is what used to be the HM Eastriggs site, and it was set up in 1915 to build artillery for World War One. And in order to put the site in, they had to basically bulldoze a lot of communities, small places with, you know, a couple of farms, nothing very dramatic, and they shifted everybody out and they flattened their homes. And one of those little hamlets was called, well, it's invariably called Tordoff, Tordock, and that's where my family history came from, that tiny little collection of farmhouses and cottages and things. And I think there were only about like 8 buildings there or something. And it's where my great-great-great-grandmother was born on my father's side. So this area is where my Scottish ancestors come from. And I thought I would come back because I knew I could walk here and just get a feel for the place. So here I am. So this is what it is. So it's now almost 1 o'clock and I'm still in Scotland. I decided to come to the local museum, which is called the Devil's Porridge, which is named after the cordite that they used to make on the factory. And it looks like the farm that my family lived on wasn't knocked down. It looks like they built the site around it. So I found some documents there, which was really interesting, and then got chatting to an elderly lady who volunteers there, and she knows some stuff about family history. And she said that there's somebody in the area, a girl in her 30s, who's connected to one of the families here, who lives in one of the farms down here, and she's researching her tree. So she's given me her name, and I'm going to track her down on Facebook and see if I can find out what she knows. So I went into this museum. I'd never heard of the farm, the original people I spoke to. And then I found all the records. They had all these folders of records. And they had this folder of the auction of the site when they closed down the cordite factory after the war. And the farm is listed there as like an existing thing. So they must have just left all the farms there, because there were several farms in the area. They left all the farms there and built around them. So they were still here in I think it was 1919 they did the sell-off. So anyway, I'm going to head home now. Don't know what time I'm going to get home at this rate. Probably about 4 o'clock now, I would imagine. And exciting stuff. Things to do. Worth the effort. So that's it. I'm off. Scotland done again. Might be back for another trip. Sounds like there's a lot of research to do that I might need to come back up for. So that would be a good excuse.